Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Shilpa Data Insights.
In today's video, we will be discussing about the delta sharing. So today's agenda will cover the following topics. That is, what is a delta sharing? What are the key components that are present in delta sharing? How you can go ahead and work with the delta sharing? What are the types of delta sharing like open and databricks to databricks? And what is a limitation for using a delta sharing and how you can overcome it? So let's begin with the first topic. What is a delta sharing? Delta sharing is an open protocol which is developed by Databricks for secure data sharing with other organizations regardless of computing platforms they use. So let's explain this first point that we have written. That is, it is basically an open protocol and it is developed by Databricks. So it's an open source developed by Databricks. And why exactly it's been developed? It's because to share the data which can be shared securely with the other organizations. So let's say there are multiple organizations that you are working with and you want to share the data with other organizations like vendor, then you can share that particular data with the other organization, irrespective of the fact that they are using the same Databricks platform or not. So that is what it means by the point one that we have written in the slide. So the second point is delta sharing's native integration with Unity Catalog allows you to manage, govern, audit, and track usage of the shared data on one platform. So what does this mean? It means delta sharing is actually integrated with the Unity Catalog and it will allow you to manage the delta sharing and it will govern, audit, and track the usage of shared data on one platform. So let me go to the next slide. It will be much more clearer. What does the second point means? Before I start explaining about the delta sharing key components that is present in Databricks, if you are learning Databricks, then you can watch the Databricks playlist tutorial. And if you are new to my channel, then subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to get the notification for new updates. So in this delta sharing, the data should be present in the Unity Catalog. If the data is not present in the Unity Catalog, you will not be able to use that particular data for the delta sharing. And the second point that you need to keep in mind is the table that you have as the data should be a delta table format. If it is a Parquet format file, then you can convert the Parquet format file into a delta format file in the Databricks directly. Once you have the data in the delta table, then with the help of the Unity Catalog, you can give the permission to the recipient. So the data that is there in the Unity Catalog is the data provider. And in the data recipient is asking all some permission to get the data from the data provider using the Unity Catalog. So once the data is shared using the delta sharing, then you can either use Spark, Power BI, Pandas, Tableau, Databricks, or any other thing to go ahead and query your data in it. So let's come to the next topic of working with the delta sharing. So in order to work with delta sharing, you need to know how exactly internally it behaves, right? So basically the data is stored in the Unity Catalog. And from the Unity Catalog, you can go ahead and share the data to the recipient. So a share can contain tables, views, notebook files from a single Unity Catalog metastore. You can add or remove tables, views, and notebook files from a share at any time. And you can assign or revoke the data recipient access to a share at any time. If you remove a share from your Unity Catalog metastore, all the recipients of that share lose the ability to access it. So basically, you need to make sure that you are accessing the grant to the recipient from the share so that they can go ahead and access the tables or the views that are present in the Unity Catalog metastore. Once you give the access, then only the recipient can read the data from the metastore. So delta sharing are of two types. The first is open sharing Open sharing means you can share the data with any user whether or not they have access to Azure Databricks or AWS Databricks. So let's say if you want to share the data with the user which are outside of the Databricks workspace, then you can do it using the open sharing. So for that, you need to have a method of authentication and how you can access the data. So for that, a data provider can go ahead and generate a token and share that token with the recipient. And recipient has to go ahead and authenticate that token in order to read the tables that are present in the catalog. So recipient can access that shared data using many computing tools and platforms like Azure Databricks, Spark, Pandas, and Power BI. And there are many more. You can see the documentation of Databricks and you will come to know what other things have been included right now in the Databricks as the coming new updates. So the second way of data sharing is using Databricks to Databricks. So in this, the sharing with Azure Databricks user can be done with the help of Unity Catalog Metastore, which you are not a part of. So let's say if you want to share the data with users who don't have access to your Unity Catalog Metastore, you can still go ahead and share that data using the Databricks to Databricks data sharing, as long as the recipient have access to the workspace of Databricks and the Unity catalog is also enabled. In this, one major advantage is that you don't need any kind of token to access the share. So in this, you can go ahead and directly get the data from the Unity catalog metastore. So the security of the sharing connection, including all the identity verification, authentication, and auditing, is managed entirely by data sharing and Databricks platform. Another advantage is the ability to share the Databricks notebook files directly using the Unity catalog, which is not present in the open sharing. So let's say you have enabled the data sharing across the organization, across other organization, but there are few limitations that you need to keep in mind before enabling this data sharing. That is, only the tables and views that are stored in Unity Catalog Metastore can be shared using data sharing. And only the tables which are in the delta table format can be used for the delta sharing. And if in case it's not in the delta table format, then you go ahead and convert it into delta table format from the Parquet tables. And the view sharing is supported only in the Databricks to Databricks sharing. It cannot be done in the open sharing. Schemas named information schema cannot be imported into a Unity Catalog Metastore because that schema name is reserved in Unity Catalog. So these are few limitations that are present which can definitely be overcome by converting the table into a delta table, and the tables and views should be in the Unity Catalog Metastore. You can take an advantage of this particular feature of data sharing for sharing the data across the organization. If you like my video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. I will go ahead and create new videos, so stay tuned to this channel.
Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you have a good day.